Trent, that was a short turnaround for that Parramatta game. Have you focused on, well, not focused on, but have you given the guys a rest or anything? Because I guess, you're looking at player welfare and whatnot leading into this game.
Yeah, we have our sort of system that we play after sort of every turnaround. We know what time's needed. So we played Saturday night, so we got moving well yesterday. And obviously different people have different recovery times as well, so we adapted that. But the turnarounds, the recovery time after every game stays the same. It's just how much training time you get to lead into.
And how is the entire group? And James Tedesco obviously got over that big hit from Sevo.
Yeah, so that's he's had good recovery over the last 5 days now. So he's seen the doctors and seen the independent doctor as well. So we just got to assess today whether he's ready to play. That's the last bit, just on whether we think it's right or not.
And Trent, 6 rounds in, Kyle Flanagan, is he ahead of where you thought he might be or expected him to be? And are you happy with how he's going?
Yeah, I don't know about I didn't have an expectation on where he would be at a certain time, but we definitely have spent a lot of time each week training and progressing from the week before. Very happy with his learning, his improvement in some areas that we wanted to on field. And I think you can see that he's fitting in well with the guys around him. So, it's difficult to come into a team and fit in easily in any position. To come into a halfback role, you can see that he's worked hard on that. And we just want to keep pushing and keep working hard in forming a very, very good halfback.
And you mentioned that you didn't really set a time limit for his improvement, but are you positively surprised with how he's progressing?
Katie, so I'm really happy about the way that he's progressing, but not surprised. If you do your homework about recruitment, you've got to be able to see where he's at the moment. So that time last year, it was maybe 2 games in. Or maybe, I think it was only played 1 game in the 2018 season. And I don't think he'd even played first grade by that stage. And what you've got to do is see the future, is try and guess what his development was going to be and where you think you could get him to for recruitment. So happy with progression, but not surprised.
Does he have a regular sit down with Cooper Cronk? Is it a thing that's in the diary, or is it just a fluid thing when they can get together, or if Cooper thinks he has some information that he'd like to pass on?
Is that a trick question, Rob, from the bubble? Are you trying to catch me out with the NRL protocols?
I thought the bubble was over though.
No, well, not. No, we can't have that at the moment. He's done a lot of that, so he spent a lot of time. As much as we can with our halves, we try and download Cooper in those ways. And then there's a real tricky point here. There's about how much do you learn off a senior player and a legend of the game, and then how much do you want to be yourself and have your own personality. And that's really key in forming any player. So that's what we're doing. He spent a lot of time with Cooper. We're trying to get as much passed on as we can, and from Luke Keary as well. But then also, be yourself, be who you want to be.
And is that as much about letting him be his own man and play his own game, but also not cluttering his head for football?
Definitely. It's really key to playing sport or life in general. So to making sure that you get all the information in, but then leave the freedom to express yourself in your way. But also within the system of a team sport.
And Trent, just on his dad, he's trying to take down his son this week. Do you feel for Shane? Because I don't think Kyle will be thinking about it much, but Shane's got to actively try and take down his flesh and blood this weekend.
Yeah, it's happened rarely in our game, but it happens every now and again. I guess with Ivan had to go through it, and a few different other fathers and sons have had to go through it. So, I think it'd be interesting for Shane. But that's footy. That's the jobs that we're in and the life that we live.
Although Matt from AAP,
Hey, Matt.
is there an emotional aspect, I suppose, for Kyle this weekend? Is that something that you feel he needs to address? Obviously, he's a young kid. Is that something that kind of impacts or factors into the preparation?
So, Matt, I think if you don't try and address every emotion that comes up every week or every couple of weeks in different players, if you're trying to equip them with the right thought going into any game so that if anything comes up, they still stay focused on the target. So you don't have to talk, I don't have to talk to Kyle about it this week. I don't have to talk to different players every single week, because hopefully they've got the tools that are going to allow them to execute what they want to do on the weekend. It's not a strange week for him at all.
And just, you mentioned Teddy and what he has to go through today. Does he actually have to train? And has he trained at all this week? Is that something that needs to be done before he plays tomorrow?
Yeah, he trained yesterday without contact. And obviously there's contact to go today.
Yeah, that's part of the protocols, is it? They have to...
Yeah, going through that steps. So he trained yesterday, which was good.
And if I can ask, just on a different topic, can I get your thoughts on just all the coaching stuff that's been happening over the last week or so? There's been so much speculation, so many rumours and innuendo about it. We went through this a couple of years ago. Do you have an opinion on whether that's good for the game, whether coaches should be more protected from that kind of stuff? Or?
Yeah, protected. It's hard. I don't, there's some people that we're talking about that we shouldn't be talking about, but it's news. So therefore, people are interested in that. People like speculation, and so therefore, as soon as somebody's name gets brought up, it catches fire. And then it's very plain to see every weekend. There's a win or a loss there for people to speculate on. I don't think any head coach would walk away from the fact that we control our results and we understand the roles that we're in. But I also think that clubs can also do more than what they're doing with some of these coaches to support them and also develop them. I think what's that role is, you get thrust in most of the guys and not talked to, and then no one says, look, these are the areas that we want you to improve in, or these are the areas that we're looking at. What are we doing about them? And then speculation comes and everyone falls silent. So we understand coaching around the world is no different in rugby league to every other sport. If you want to coach in football, it's pretty clear that it's results driven. You've got to win. But also the responsibility of more than just one person is important in clubs.
And just one more on that. One of your assistant coaches always gets thrown up. It happened last year as well. Is Fitzy ready for a head coaching gig?
Fitzy's one of the best coaches in our game. So there's no question that he's going to get tossed up. But we're also really content on a path here. So I think everybody knows Fitzy's his own man, and he's a strong coach and one of the best in the game. But we're in the middle of fighting for something special.
Thanks, Robert.
Trent, just on that coaching sort of information, I kind of feel, is it right to suggest that maybe when you're at the top, you almost feel alone? Like, are you sort of, as a head coach, looking for more guidance, or so you can always get better?
No, that lonely place is enjoyable. That's what separates it from other jobs. That's what makes it uncomfortable and beautiful at the same time. But I also, we've talked about the Coaches Association about, what do you need to do to become a head coach in our game? All you need to do is get selected by a club. There's no formal qualifications or anything needed to coach in our game. And I think a big part of what we want to do is increase education, not about attack and defence, but about the things that surround it, whether it's welfare, whether it's management of personalities, or whether it's dealing with boards and all of that. There's courses around the world for football coaches or union coaches in countries where they spend a year or two learning all of that, so it creates a great safety net. There's nothing in our game, and as I've said, that it's not well supported by the people that are making these decisions. CEOs, our CEO's really supportive of the Coaches Association, but that's not the case around the league. But they also want to make decisions on coaches. So we need to improve that.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I do just have one more. In year 17, do you expect any other changes? I know Tedesco has to pass testing. Anyone else, or is everyone else pretty fit?
No, we've got a really fit squad. I can't remember the ins and outs completely of the 1 to 17, but we've got 21 to choose from. The guys are really pushing each other to be in the team each week. It's really good.